All right, so um, get quick shout out, Aaron Donald. I was like retired. Another surprising one. I was like, even though we knew it was like sort of on the table, but you would think that after the resurgence of the season that he might stick it out. But hey, he retired. Kudos to him. Hall of Famer dude, been one of the best defensive players. I mean, pretty much since he's been around. But I was like, I feel like since he got his recognition in the last like 5 or 6 years, really. But anyway, my man, I was like, what I'm here is to really talk about is the fact that hey, Kenny Pickett got traded to the Eagles, and on one hand, it's kind of like, man, this seemed like to come out of nowhere, but apparently, I guess he didn't like the Russ signing kind of thing, but they sort of said beforehand that they were going to do a competition, so you shouldn't be shocked that you know there's somebody else to come in there, and they didn't fully give him the job. But I guess at the same time, let's be honest, somebody like Russ coming there, he more than likely might get the job over Pickett compared to say they picked up Ryan Tannehill, which I sort of think might be the move for Pittsburgh. If they don't try to grab a young person in the draft, I mean, don't get me wrong. This might also be an opportunity for Fields to go there as well, because I was like, on one hand, yes, Ryan Tannehill. I feel like he while that'd be great, I was like, I don't. It's weird to have two type of veteran backups like that. So I could see him not going there, even though the guy that basically gave him a revitalized his career is there. But this could be a Justin Fields spot just because now that opens for a chance to be a young player in the background behind Wilson. He ain't got to come out and play and nothing like that. He could develop back there. You ain't got to. I was like, you probably going to see use probably the same draft pick to probably pick a quarterback anyway. So, hey. So we'll see if Fields go there. That's a thing, depending on how everything goes. But Eagles side of it, one, I think is a really good pickup. I was like, you get a guy that he's based on this rookie deal for another 2 years. So therefore, hey, you ain't really paying him no money. I was like, you got an athletic dude that could sort of play behind Hurts. They sort of got similar arms, not crazy strength, but not strength behind it. They're really similar quarterbacks, even though with the height difference, stuff like that. But also, and I know people are, there's some people out there that are already going to be like, hey, Pickett going to take over Hurts and stuff like that. And then there are people that's like, come on, get out of here. That's not, why are y'all coming up with these things? And under normal circumstances, I probably will be in that camp of like, what are we talking about here? He's going to be a backup developmental guy. Maybe you flip him later on or something like that. He's a cheap, young, not really young, but you get what I'm saying. He's on a cheap young person type of contract. Somebody out there might want him or need him. So, hey, like how like people were talking about like Trey Lance going to the Cowboys, and it's like, oh, Dak better watch out. Trey Lance wasn't going to try to come and get Dak's job. That wasn't going to happen. I was like, I like that one where I'm like, that's not going to happen. But with the Eagles, that's a different story. And the reason I say that is if you look at look at a good portion of the Eagles' history, they're real like they're really the one of the teams to say, YOLO, fuck that money that we gave them. We're gonna go with this dude. I can't. I'm not old enough to go back to like the Randall Cunningham years or anything like that. But think about it from at least like Andy Reid and on. Like you had McNabb there, you had AJ Philly, you had Kevin Cobb, you had Jeff Garcia, you had Nick Foles, you've had Sam Bradford, Carson Wentz to Jalen Hurts. I was like, a lot of those quarterbacks had good years, and they moved off of them after like 3 years. I was like, McNabb, Vic, like the Eagles are one of the few teams that don't care about what the money they gave you, that don't care really that like hey, once you start being in a position where they're like, I don't know about this, they tend to try to get rid of your ass pretty early. And to be honest, they seem to also be right about it too. Like when it was from McNabb to Vic, guess what? It was the right choice. McNabb basically was out the league after about like a year or two after that. after he was traded. I was like, you can tell that whatever it wasn't there anymore. Vic got the start in there and stuff like that. And guess what? Same thing. I was like, once Vic just was too injured, they had to get him up out of there. I was like Kevin Cobb. Once he started, I was like they tricked the Cardinals into taking his ass, even though he was being hurt. And guess what? That was the right choice. I was like Jeff Garcia. I was like he was a little more back of row, but I was like he was still like really good. Guess what? Got rid of that. It was like, nope, this ain't the guy that's going to be able to stick around that whole time, even though Garcia had been in place and stuff like that. I was like Sam Bradford. You got him from the Rams. Played really good for a couple years. Guess what? Hey, the Vikings need him. We got Carson Wentz here. Bye-bye. I was like, the first iteration of Nick Foles. Ooh, he looked good. Oh, look at him. Let's ship his ass out. Guess what? Nick Foles ain't never been the same again. Despite the Super Bowl. Wentz took him to the Super Bowl. It was like, nope, he ain't the same. We got to get him out of here. Everybody thought Jalen Hurts was going to be a utility player or whatever you want to say. Nope. Got Wentz ass right up out of there not too long after that. And guess what? Hurts. I was like, first year, hey, whatever. It was that half weird year. I was like, next year, hey, he didn't play so well. Second year, boom. Guess what? I was like, that third year, boom, Super Bowl. I was like, fourth year, the past year, you know what happened. I was like, guess what? They gave him the big money. So, and it's like, hey, last year, a little hurt, the season, the coaches, all that other stuff, hey. Mulligan, you know how it is. Hey, sometimes we were still winning, so it's like, hey, but the Eagles, they don't care about that type of thing. They're not like some of the other teams that just happy to get double digits or something like that, or all facade or fake, like in a way like the Cowboys are, where just like they're just content with their. I was like, no, the Eagles will change around a whole bunch of stuff and get people up out of there with no problem. Howard Roseman just does, like that's what he does. And I was like, not this year. But next year. Like if Hurts has a letdown season from what his own heights is, that's what we're comparing him to. We're comparing you to your own height. When we see you can do it like this, and then we're like, okay, cool. What's your next level? And you're like right here, and it's like, all right, cool. All right, so this may be like your ceiling, and this is where you might be actually at. Cool. But we don't need you to drop any below here. If he, I'm just saying, Pickett got a chance to become the starter over there. Not in a way that's saying like he's better than Hurts or nothing like that. But he might afford them the opportunity based on how cheap he's still on his contract, while Hurts aren't having this like a lot of money that I wouldn't, and I was like, then especially Sirianni, the way we don't know how he is. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be shocked if a year from now they're over here talking about some real, like you hearing whispers or something like that. That like I think they're over here talking about maybe Pickett getting the job. Pickett getting the job over Hurts. That's great. If not shocking, and I was like, it's because of the Eagles. That's really what we're going off of here. Anywhere else, no. Hurts is going to be the option until he basically just would either be old, or you could tell like he just he had a decline of some sorts. Eagles, their decline is you not taking that step we need in order to get to where we need to go. That's how the Eagles are. And I'm just saying that history suggests no matter what. Same thing like how everybody was like, they can't fire Sirianni after this year. And I'm like, what tells you that they can't? I was like Andy Reid all them years. I was like anywhere else, he's probably still got a job. But guess what? Eagles was like, sorry, you got to go. Chip Kelly had a winning season. They was like, all right, you got to go. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, winning season. You got to get up out of here. Nick Sirianni, I don't care you took it to the Super Bowl. That looked funky what you was doing. But bye. That's just what the Eagles are, and that's what I'm saying. That's why people can't look at this scenario like other teams or other quarterbacks going to other teams and nothing like that. That's how you can't look at it this way. So Hurts is safe this year. This is what I'm gonna say. Hurts is safe this year. But do not also think that they have another season like what they were doing or Hurts. Don't let Hurts like be like hurt. No pun intended, but also and let Kenny Pickett come up in there and also being like, oh, this is what Kenny Pickett was doing. Pittsburgh was holding him back. He got weapons now. Everything look good. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen while Hurts you still over here playing like, If you play a little bit, I'm just saying the Eagles ain't shy about that. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say on the news of it. Normally, I was like, this isn't really much like a headline, but I was like, this sort of is because we thought that Pittsburgh would stay there or whatever like that. Pittsburgh, I was like, the Steelers also drive a lot of people from Pittsburgh, would make sense because they're in their backyard, and then they just gone at the same time. But yeah, I was like, I think Kenny, I was like, I don't think this is a bad situation that people are making it out for Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying, like I think he was gonna start with the Steelers. He's not gonna start with the Eagles, but I was like, in a year or so, might be the same situation. That's a possibility. But anyway, till more NFL news or things or whatever. I was like, we'll see next time.